Alright, SlimmBob here. I'm sorry about this, but I seem completely speechless because of how fucking amazing this game is.
Okay, well, cut. I've done that joke before, haven't I? I've done it before. I'm sorry. Shame on you. But yeah, this is SlimmBob. Time for another review. This time a game. Do you know that thing I just did? Right? Well, when was the last time I did that? If you remember, it was my Mass Effect 2 video. And if you remember that game, I said it was one of the best games ever made. In fact, I remember saying it was the best game ever made. Yeah, I can't say that, can I? It's all opinion. This game I played at the moment, this is also one of the best games ever made, and it's called Chrono Trigger. This game here. It's on DS. It originally came out on the SNES in 1995, and it was never released outside of Japan and North America. So, yeah, this came out in 2008, and of course I only just got 3DS really recently. So it's the first time I've played it. So I bought it like pretty much when I bought my 3DS, but I've not actually got round to playing it until like last week. And apparently it's the American version, which is kind of ironic. I don't even know why. I must have been drunk when I bought it, because... Why didn't I get English version? I'm stupid, aren't I? But, that's nice. But yeah, Chrono Trigger. It's amazing. It's sensational. It seriously is one of the best games ever made. And that's coming a lot. I mean, you got to think, before Mass Effect 2, my favourite game was Final Fantasy 7. What I considered to be the best game I've ever played in my life, Final Fantasy 7. This is better, like, easily better than Final Fantasy 7. And this is a JRPG, and it came out before, and that's a lot, right? Me saying that, it must mean it's very good, trust me, right? So, let's go categories. Graphics and sound. The graphics are like pretty much the top tier what you'd expect from that 16-bit era. Like, if you played any of Final Fantasies of that from SNES, like any RPGs from SNES, it's like that, but very polished. It reminds me of, you know when I played Final Fantasy 9? Like, if you look at Final Fantasy 9, the graphics, I think they're too good for PS1, them graphics. You know, the pre-rendered backdrops are way too detailed. The character models, the polygon count's way too high. The animation's way too good. To me, this Chrono Trigger, the graphics are like 16-bit, but you can see that they're striving to be on a new platform. At least that's what it seems like to me. Well, it did come out in 95, so that would make sense, since PlayStation came out that year, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but... yeah, the graphics, just like the animation in general, is a lot smoother than in Final Fantasy games of that era. So, presentation-wise, the graphics, the art style's beautiful. I mean, like, all the artwork's like this really unique kind of hand-drawn style. And where, you know, it's kind of a mix, like, they got like Kingdom Hearts style hair, but it's more cartoony than Final Fantasy. And I think it really suits it, because it's like, it's a lot more light-hearted than Final Fantasy, which I really like. Final Fantasy it tries to be serious, but unless you're sucked into the world, you're never going to take it seriously. Whereas I think Chrono Trigger, the story is really light-hearted, so you can kind of take it how you want and interpret it how you want, and it's really good, that. So yeah, I really like the art style. The sound as well, the music. Oh, music's very good. If you were a fan of Final Fantasy era, just from up to 10, if you're a fan of that music, you will love the music in Chrono Trigger. Simple as. I mean, the guy who made the music, I don't know his name, sorry, but he made most of the music. I think Nobuo Uematsu did some of the music. He collaborated with him, and they've created an amazing soundtrack. And every character, it does what 7 did. Like, every character theme is completely different. Like, they're not based off the main theme. Like, you know, if you play Final Fantasy X, there's only 2 tunes in that game. There's like Titanic and Someday the Dream Will End. They're the only 2 tunes. Everything else is remixed around that. Whereas in Chrono Trigger, well, the early Final Fantasies, they have their own, every character has their own unique theme, and this is the same. Every age you go into, because it's based on time travel, every age you go into has its own unique theme and unique sound, unique presence and atmosphere. It's just, you gotta play this game. But in terms of presentation, it's superb. They just hit nail on head. So what's the story like, Chrono Trigger? Well, basically, I don't want to go into depth because it's based on time travel. You move through times a lot, and the plot, it's hard to explain unless you... It's easy to understand, it's just hard to explain. I don't know how to describe it, but it's Doctor Who. It's Japanese Doctor Who. You're travelling through all the time, sorting shit out. That's all you do in this game. And basically the idea is, you're from the year 1000 AD. In the year 1999, a sentient being known as Lavos will rise from the earth and destroy the world. And basically the point of the game, you have to stop that. So it's like any JRPG where you have to beat the main bad guy because he's trying to destroy the world. But it is a lot more like I said, it's a lot more light-hearted than other JRPGs that take it a lot more seriously. Look at Uncharted, right? There's no serious about Uncharted, it's just fun. It's Indiana Jones fun. And it doesn't try to be anything more than that. Chrono Trigger's same. It takes that formula, the JRPG formula, and just has fun with it. And I think that's why it succeeds. And it takes all liberties to change things, which I'm going to get onto now, because I'm going to talk about gameplay. Alright, the gameplay in this game. Alright, imagine a JRPG. What do you expect? You expect random battles. You expect a world map, don't you? You expect to go into towns. You expect dungeons, don't you? Where you got a level grind and things. This game doesn't have random battles. You don't have to level grind. You have save points within dungeons. The battle system, it isn't too complex. Basically, the battle system, you learn text, your characters learn text. They're unique to each character. And basically, you get TP points. It is turn-based, but you get TP points, and the more TP points you get, you learn a new ability when you get a certain amount. And basically, when you learn new abilities, that will unlock these combined attacks, where basically, you combine attacks with your allies and do these really powerful moves, which cost more MP, but they're really powerful. And it's a brilliant system. It really is. It's so simple to understand. You get it straight away. I mean, even 7, I always go on about 7, how the materia system's brilliant. But I must say, my first playthrough, I didn't understand it perfectly. Like, I didn't understand how all worked. You know, the all materia where you can attack all or cure all, whatever. I didn't understand that to start off with. It did take a few hours. This game, I picked it up, I understood the battle system, and I could get into it, and it was just great fun. And that is... I'm going to compare it to Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 has done the exact same thing. Mass Effect 1 is a standard Western RPG. It just... There's so many things, so many traditions that developers stick to. Mass Effect 2 got rid of those traditions, and it focused on the storytelling and just making it a fun game, and it turned out to be amazing. This is the same. All the traditions you expect from a JRPG, some of them, you have to admit, they're not... I wouldn't have even thought they were bad. Like, I've always been a fan of random battles, but until I played this has shown me that random battles, they're actually not that good. I mean, I don't know, if it's done right. I mean, Persona kinda has random battles. You can kinda dodge enemies, but it's really hard and it's not advised. But Chrono Trigger flaunts those rules, but it does it expertly. Just like... And compared to Mass Effect, again, like... The consequences. Like, you got to consider this game was made in 1995. If you do something in the past, then you keep going through all these times. You do stuff, and it will affect all these other times you got to. Like, just for instance, alright, this is a side quest. This isn't the main quest, alright? So, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Basically, there's this mayor, right? You need an item off this mayor, right? But he's a greedy sod, right? He likes money, he likes to have stuff, he will not give you this item. So, what you do, you buy some expensive meat, right? You take it back in time, give it to his ancestors, the poor people, his ancestors. We're talking 400 years ago. You give them this expensive meat for free. By doing that, they have an epiphany. They learn that you have to be generous. They learn generosity. So that is taught for all them generations. So you go back into the future, that bloke gives you the item because he's now learned. Because you've gone back in time and changed it, he's learned about generosity. And that's just a small bit, but there are loads of bits like that, and as soon as it clicks, it's like, my fucking god, this is 1995, and they're giving you consequences, they're giving you, and when you do it, you feel great, you feel accomplished, you feel like you've actually changed the world. There's a lot of them, and some of them make you feel fantastic, and if you do them wrong, some of them you can do wrong, and you feel bad about it, but that's what I mean. This game was way ahead of its time in terms of the mechanics, and playing it has kind of pissed me off because there are a lot of aspects of this game which JRPGs haven't taken from. Like, we're talking 16 years later, and they still haven't learnt from this game. This is the standard as far as I'm concerned. This is what all JRPGs should look to as to what it should be, that genre. But, I just could go on. I'm not going to, but yeah, longevity of this game. Now, it took me 27 hours to complete. That's people's biggest gripe with this game, 27 hours. Well, it has New Game Plus. There are 13 endings. And when I completed it, I just wanted to keep playing. I just started again. Because it's one of them games. Mass Effect 2, 20 hours long. It took me 24 hours to beat. I started again straight away, created a new profile. I've got like 4 or 5 characters on that game. This is the same. It gives you that reason to keep playing. Even though it's a shortish game, you always feel like you're missing something. You know what I mean? You always feel as though you have something to accomplish. Even when you complete a game, makes a great RPG as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, how many games in 1995 had New Game Plus, or had multiple endings and things like that? And point is, it was way ahead of its time. It feels like a modern game. It doesn't feel like it was made 16 years ago. I mean, you could have shown me this, said, oh, an indie developer made this other day, and I would have fucking believed you. I mean, after playing Cthulhu, if you played that, that's a really good game, by the way. It's basically a parody of JRPGs, like the classic formula. And you can get it on Xbox Live Arcade and Steam. It's like £2, seriously, buy it, it's a brilliant game, that. But yeah, alright, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10, easily, hands down. It's one of the best games ever made, Chrono Trigger, and I'm so glad I bought it. I mean, as soon as I put it in, I loved every second of playing this. Even Final Fantasy VII, there's bits where I think, oh, I can't be asked to do this, and I stop, or I wait, and I wait like a week, and then I play it again. This game, I did not get that once, and I think it's one of them, because it is, alright, I will say this, people have complained that it's slightly easy. Mass Effect 2 is easy. Fallout 3 is easy. That's why I prefer Fallout 3 to New Vegas, because New Vegas is punishing. It's one of them games, you have to follow a certain route, because the enemies are tailored. All the tough enemies are in a certain place, so if you go in that area, you're dead. And, you know what I mean? It's more linear, where Fallout 3 you can just go anywhere, at any point in the game, and it's it's the same experience and it's brilliant. Final Fantasy VII, that is linear, but there's some bosses you have to do it a certain way, and it's very punishing. Like, some dungeons, you go a long way without a save point. That's what I mean. JRPGs in general, they have these traditions which, I hate to say this, they are old-fashioned, and they're unfair. This game gets rid of those traditions, and it feels like an adventure. You feel like you can adventure, that you can do this, and that you just have a fun ride all the way to the end, and characters are great. It's just a brilliant game. So longevity-wise, have I already done that? I don't know. I'll do it anyway. Yeah, it will last forever, this game. I've said about the multiple endings and all that, but it will last forever. So yeah, 10 out of 10. It's the perfect game, Chrono Trigger. The perfect JRPG. I don't care what anyone says. I have not played a JRPG this good. I played a hell of a lot as well, but this is easily the best one. And yep, there we go. Chrono Trigger. Let me know what you think. If you played Chrono Trigger, let me know what you think. Even if you're in UK and... See, I haven't been out here long, but... If you live in UK and you've never played this game, if you own a DS, I implore you to buy this. You owe it to yourself. It's one of them experiences, like when everyone bought GTA 3 when that came out. You know, or everyone bought Gears of War, everyone buys Call of Duty. This is one of those experiences. If you own a DS, you have to buy this. Everyone buys a Mario game, just go that fucking step further and please buy this, because it's one of the best games ever made. It's one of the best games you'll ever play. If you buy a DS anyway, you're buying it for fucking Pokemon, aren't you? You're buying it for an RPG. Buy another one. Get Chrono Trigger. It's sensational. But yeah, anyway, this is SlimmBob's. Thanks for watching. Fucking, that's top heavy, isn't it? And goodbye.